Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this discussion. So, as some of you may know, we did see a bit of the news going on right now where the United States, where I live and probably a lot of you live, wants to be in military combat with other people, which, could make a lot of people panic. And of course, we all know that it could have the potential to be very, very, very catastrophic and bad. Things like that could go very, very wrong very quickly. So, I'm gonna say this first. I understand the whole entire thing with the Epstein files, and I understand it's very horrific and it should never be done and all that stuff, right? But of course, I don't support any of those crimes at all. It's bad. Never do that. But the most important thing that we need to remember is to protect ourselves, our home, and the people of the country that you live in. And that's sort of the main priority at this time. Of course, I do hope that the proper authorities do handle the Epstein situation properly. But let's focus on this first. So, this is not really a thing that you should be waiting to take action on when our country, my country, is so close to having war with other countries, meaning that, yeah, we do have the potential to get bombed by other countries. And as soon as we hear this news, we must immediately start to protect ourselves. We don't want to wait on this, of course. So, me being spiritual and me being very powerful with my energy manipulation and my connections to the higher dimensional beings, I might as well use it. So, what I've been doing is that I have been planning out weekly rituals. I have 3 weekly rituals that I will repeat. So you repeat these rituals every week to refresh the energy and make sure that the energy is still strong. Where I will call on maybe 3, 4, 5, probably potentially like 5 higher dimensional beings that will lend us their protection. And here's the interesting thing about that. The United States, as I've seen, we have the most spiritual people. We have the most vegan people, and we have the most people who has done psilocybin mushrooms, as far as I know. Maybe Europe would be a close to us, but considering that, we do have pretty good chances to be pretty safe in this situation if we use it in the proper way and we use this to our advantage. So, of course, we're gonna work with what we got here. So, yeah, basically, I would, if any other spiritual people out there, I would start focusing on the protection protection intentions. I would focus on maybe even protecting the military or doing protection spells for all of the branches of our military. And the reason for this is not that I support war. It's not that I want to be bloodthirsty and just go out, harming people. I don't really want to be doing that. That's not the point. But the point is, we need to make sure that our country doesn't have any weak spots. So if our military gets compromised, that means that we are now vulnerable to attacks from other countries, which is not good. That could be very, very bad. So it's best to, do protection spells for the military, of course. But yeah, the higher dimensional beings, of course, will be called. I have multiple of them. And yeah, just start praying. I'm sure there's lots of really good rituals that people can find that they can do. That's kind of basically what I wanted to say. Another thing is that I've watched a lot of videos and I've watched a lot of people talk about this in the past couple days of government officials talking about their strategies and the reasons for all this and who is our allies and who is going to be our enemies. It's very good to take a look at that and research that on your own time, so you have a better understanding on how and where you should be focusing your energy work. Because if you're somebody like me, I'm a pretty short person, I'm pretty small, so I don't think any of the military wants me to join them, because it's like, I don't think that my body is actually strong enough to handle what they need. So if you're someone like me, maybe doing the energy work is going to be a better thing. So this is kind of a time, like, listen, I understand that there are still some people out there who want to argue and say that they don't believe in crystals and they don't believe in energy and they don't believe in this and that. But honestly, this is a time where things are so tense right now that it doesn't, I can't waste my time sitting here and trying to convince everybody that crystals are real. It's not really a time to be going back and forth, bickering and arguing on whatever you believe or know. I know things, I don't believe them, but we don't have time for that. All we have time for is to do as many rituals as we can, as soon as we can, and consistently as we can, because it's a risk that we should not be taking, because there's lots of lives at stake. So we need to just stay focused on the important big stuff and not really focused on arguing with each other at the moment. We just need to take action and tell the universe and tell the higher dimensional beings, like, hey, we're gonna need some help. The thing is that whatever my government wants to do, like, a lot of this is out of my own personal control, but what you can control is your own energy and your own intentions and your own manifestations. And that's what you got. Or if you want to join the military, that might not be a bad idea, honestly. Not for the idea of supporting war, not for the idea of being bloodthirsty, but more for the idea of that we need to be protected and we need to feel secure within our own homes. Of course, I'm an environmentalist too. I do think that we should preserve our home as it is rather than destroy it. We get it, right? We get it. So another thing that I saw is that the president said that we are the strongest country. But the thing is, a lot of us don't have a third eye illuminated with the psilocybin, especially the military, which when you have a third eye, you have the ability to see a little bit into the future, maybe even like a couple days, maybe even like a week into the future in like small amounts, but still it is very useful. So I don't see why they don't have some type of like experiment. Here's the thing, if their government wants to do anything like that, they might as well do it the correct way. It doesn't make any sense to yeah, I think we all know the whole story at this point. But of course, it doesn't make any sense on why we would not do this in the best way possible. Because without the veganism, without the daily meditation, without the psilocybin illuminating your chakras, then that leaves us at a disadvantage. I know a lot of us do have that, though. I know a lot of us have had the mushrooms. A lot of us are spiritual, which is really good. We've been training, like, as a country, a lot of us have been doing that and training for very many years. So, yeah, that puts us in a really good place. Meaning, like, the higher dimensional beings, they would prefer to stay here with us. They would prefer to protect us over probably other countries that have not made this a trend by now. I'm not entirely sure what's going on in other countries. I know other countries are probably more restrictive with that, and maybe they don't have a lot of mushrooms, or maybe they don't have a lot of spiritual stuff. But that's, I guess, good for us. And I guess the only thing, like, as much as I do care about everyone, I don't want to go to war. I don't want to fight other people. I don't want to do all that, but the important thing at hand is, like, okay, well, this is my house. I live here, and these are the people I live with, and so you just got to work with what you got. So I know, and the reason for that, like, a lot of people would just say, like, oh, just leave the country, leave the country. But I know there's probably a lot of people out there that cannot afford or probably don't have the money to leave the country and actually be okay and, like, actually have somewhere to stay and food to eat and, like, actually sustain a life away from this country. Because I know there's probably a lot of people who are living paycheck to paycheck and just cannot come up with that. So, of course, we do the best with what we got. Good luck, everyone. Make sure you're doing protection rituals, probably on the military too. Also, what I want to do, like, success spells on the military. I kind of want to do, like, power spells for the military because, again, like I said, not that I support war, not that I want to go to war, but I also don't want to leave an entire country very vulnerable. If our defenses get weakened, that leaves a window open for anyone to actually harm us, and that's not really okay. Good luck to everybody out there, and thank you for hearing me out. I suppose that's all I had to say. Yeah. Good luck.